broken bones, and exhausted athletes. Now, how many of you thought when I said that about football immediately? All right, now probably the reason for that is football is probably one of the more popular sports in America, but actually I was referring to hockey. And the reason you didn't think about hockey is because hockey doesn't have the same kind of popularity in America that it does in other countries such as Canada or Sweden or other places like that. But I think if people understood more about hockey and what it is, that it would be more popular in America like it is in those other countries. So today I'm going to talk about why hockey is an interesting sport, why it's an exciting sport due to its origins, how it became a professional sport, and also hockey as we know it today. So hockey has several interesting origins, and the first of which is before the 1800s in Ireland they played a game called hurley, which what they did is they hit a leather ball up and down the field on the ground or through the air with sticks, and so it kind of resembled hockey. After the 1800s, what they did is in Canada, the Mi'kmaq Indians, they played a game similar to hurley, but they played it on the ice because of all the ice that they have in Canada. Eventually, as British settlers and other settlers came into Canada, they started playing their old sports like hurley that they knew from over in Ireland and places like that, and they combined it with the sport that they learned from the Mi'kmaq Indians, and it basically became hockey as we know it today. Eventually, hockey gained popularity throughout Canada as British soldiers, they would spread it throughout Canada. They would be teaching other people how to do it. And the first official hockey game that we know of was played in 1855 on Frozen Lake, Ontario by British soldiers. And they eventually made rules from students at McGill University in Canada in 1875. And from there it spread across Canada. And so it gained its popularity. The first sign of any kind of league was in 1885. And that was the Amateur Hockey Association. That was in Canada. This was just basically a bunch of people who enjoyed playing hockey, people who enjoyed watching playing hockey. They decided to make some teams and just be able to play hockey whenever they wanted to. And then players got paid eventually once the teams got owners. People bought the teams and the teams started getting paid. And the first pro hockey league, it was short-lived, but it was actually called the Pro Hockey League. It didn't last very long. But one league in particular that led to the way hockey is now is the National Hockey Association. And players that got paid the most was up to $3,000, which is nowhere near what they get paid now. And that's according to Brian McFarland's History of Hockey from 1997. And eventually the NHL formed, the National Hockey League, on November 26, 1917. And they originally had 5 teams, but one of the teams had to drop out because their arena burned down, and another team had to quit because the owner decided he didn't want the team anymore. But the 3 teams that they ended up playing the season with were the Montreal Canadiens, the Ottawa Senators, and the Toronto Arenas. Now, hockey today is upbeat and fast-paced. Players are treated like superstars. The NHL, the National Hockey League, is now the most respected and most popular pro hockey league in the world. And there are players from all over the place. And that's one of the reasons that makes it unique, is because it's so diverse. There's players from countries all over the world. And the players that are in, then not just the National Hockey League, but all through the world, they're known for different things like their puck handling, their defensive skills, their agility in the goal. And most people, their favorite thing about it is the hard hits. And actually, Gordie Howe, he's an NHL Hall of Famer, played for the Detroit Red Wings and the Hartford Whalers. He said one time, I play religious hockey, it's better to give than to receive. He said this referring to hitting, because that was probably one of his favorite parts about hockey was hitting. And that's from Roy McSkimming's biography of Gordie Howe. It's called Gordie, a Hockey Legend, in 2003. Now, hockey isn't a high-scoring game, but that's one of the things that makes it so exciting, because when a team does score, there's so much more excitement that's involved in that. The team, you can feel it. You can feel it when you're at the stadium with the fans, or even just sitting at home watching it. You can feel the excitement that's in everything. So basically what we've talked about was the origins of hockey, where it came from, where it started. We've also talked about how it became a professional sport, and also we've talked about hockey as we know it today. And hockey players may not be glamorous as basketball players because they have scars or they're missing teeth, but that's one of the things that makes hockey unique. It combines finesse with hard hitting, and if you like seeing a quarterback get knocked in the next week, or if you like the art that it takes to pitch a curveball, you would enjoy watching hockey. So give hockey a shot.